Hi everyone. So let us have a quick overview about Azure today. So today what I'm going to cover, what is Azure and how can you have a free account in Azure. And I already have an Azure free account which I'll take you through a couple of services, creating one or two Azure services, and we'll wind up this session with an like demonstrating the Azure price calculator. Okay, so Azure is a cloud platform provided by Microsoft, and the use of Azure or the cloud platform is like you will be able to set up your own environment with a very minimal cost, and you have to pay only for the period which you use. So that is why cloud is very popular in recent years. So, talking about Azure, Azure provides a free account for 30 days. That says like you will get an amount of around 16,000 rupees as will be credited with a free account when you create using an Microsoft account that can be used to purchase the services in Azure. So I'll move on to the demo where like I already have a free account in Azure. So how you have to log in, you need to type portal.azure.com, so which will land you to the page which you have just seen. I have this account created in the data streams account. So I provide my password. When you normally if it is first time login or you are logging into a new machine, it asks for a validation with an OTP to that particular email account, Gmail account in my case. But this case I have already authenticated as a trusted machine, so I don't need to do that. So if you see that right side pop up which is coming in the notification saying that I have 16,450 457 rupees credit is remaining. That's like I can buy most of the resources in Azure using that money and use it until that money get over, and it does not charge you until you upgrade this to pay as you go subscription. So what is pay as you go subscription? Suppose you started using this trial account and you believe that again this is good and I wanted to retain my pipeline or retain the data in the cloud, you can pay afterwards and pay for the resources which you use, and you can continue to use Azure services. Otherwise, like after 1 month you will not be able to use the services which you have already created here. Now, talking about Azure services, you can see this very recent or most commonly used list here. If you click on more services, you will see all the list here, right? It's a very huge list if you keep scrolling. All these are services in Azure, and we may or may not be using all this, but this cover or like software as services, platform as services, infrastructure as services, as IaaS pass, all these things you already know, right? If not, like please refer my LinkedIn page where I have provided overview about all these resources. So here I'll go to the home page. So when you log into the portal, this is what you see. And I have my recent account which I have recently created. I have a Databricks account created. I have a couple of storage account created. You can see the symbol, right? Storage symbol. I have the data factory created. So what I'm going to do in next few minutes is like I'll take you through creating a storage account first. Then we'll show you how this working, and we'll go to the price calculator. So go to storage account, and whatever the resource you wanted to create, click on to that. And I already have 3 accounts created. I'll click on create here. So this will take me here, the very basic configuration. So by creating this storage account, you will understand what do you need very minimum to have an account, right? You need to have a subscription. So what is subscription? Subscription is where you would be charged. I don't have any subscription, so I'm like you have option to create subscriptions definitely. So I have my free trial subscription. So anything which is going to cost me with this storage account is going to be charged for the subscription. Okay, and you have to have a resource group. So what is resource group? Resource group is like grouping your resources. I would summarize that way. Like you can group your resources together so that like you can manage the accesses among. So you have a dev environment, you can have a red dev resource group. You have a particular project, you can have your resources group. So whenever you create an Microsoft service, you have to have a resource group, and you can have multiple, not storage account, Azure Data Factory or SQL MA. All this can be added under the same resource group. You can click on create here. So Azure Learning 25. I'll just name this way. Create a new Azure Learning resource group. I am going to create a storage account, so I am telling that storage account 1, 2, 3. Okay, so people have taken this name already. So 2025-02-01. So we can give DSA storage AC. It's very rare name, right? So, and note the point, you cannot use any special character. If I put hyphen, underscore, which normally use, right? You can only do, I will show you the error. The field can only contain the lowercase letters. Keep in mind, lowercase letters and numbers only. Okay. So region. So how cloud is working? It has data centers across the world, which help you to store your data, like run you, like there will be machines like your local computer or anything, right? Like there are resources with RAM, CPU, storage, and everything is set up across the world. That is the simplest way which you can relate to cloud. Now I need to tell the system, okay, I need a DSA storage account under the resource group, but where do I want to create this resource? I can create that in India, I can create that in US, anywhere, right? Maybe the most common way is like where your like development everything happen, you can have that closer. But in some cases there might be data security coming in, and so you may have to store US data in US, Europe data in US. In that case, like you can even create that accordingly. So I'm creating in central India. And primary service, in case of storage, we have Azure Files and Azure Blob Storage and tables and queues. So by default, I'm creating Azure Blob or Azure Data Lake here. We have two types, standard and premium. Premium would be, as it is written, will be low latency. Like if you want this to be a little more faster than normal, so you can use premium. I'm going with standard, so this is just a sample account creation. And redundancy is like the term redundancy with which refers is like copy, right? You have duplicates. So why do you need duplicate? If you lose a data in place one, you need a like backup, so that like you still have your data exist, right? So that is what redundancy. You can say, okay, locally wherever I'm setting in central India, right, I need this to be like duplicated in central India. So that is by default all cloud providers are providing. But in some cases you can say, okay, what if like something happens into the India network, and or maybe you set up this something in Russia, and Russia had some war or something, and the connectivity has lost. You still, but your data is critical and you cannot stop your project. So business critical data, you can set the geo redundancy, like you can, yeah, intermediate option with failover capability in a secondary region, right? Region is different areas as we discussed. Recommended for backup scenario, so you can take a backup of your database always into a different region. So this we need to pay extra. So I'm going with local, and we have a different region. So if I have to explain this, we also need to understand what is all this, like zone, what is zone, what is zone redundancy, all these things. So that we can cover in maybe upcoming videos. Whenever we talk about Azure fundamentals, we'll be able to talk about that. So this I am giving local redundancy. So we have, if you click next, we will go through all these options. You will be able to select which version, and like enabling SFTP means it can act as an SF, like SFTP, Access tier means do you want fast read and write, you go with hot tier by default. Call is like slightly slower, like intermediate archives. Called is like you're archiving for a very long time, so read will be very slow in that case, but you will also be charged less and you will be charged. So that way, like, you can optimize however you want, but by default I'm not going through all these options. I can click on review and create. The very basic which you need is like, like which subscription you wanted to create, what is your resource group, and which region you wanted to store the data. That's all you have to know, the basic information which help you to create an account. So if you click on create, your Azure learning, this the Azure storage account is ready. That's getting created. So you'll get a notification here, it's going on, right? You'll get a notification deployment is completed, and that will start showing up in this screen. So let's wait for that happen. So we don't need to wait that, okay, I should stop until this is ready. No, if you want, you can create another data factory here. Yeah, you can see the resource group. Yeah, so now deployment is succeed, resource is also ready. So that if you go, DSA storage ACC is ready. So this is my storage account which I have created right now. You can see various options, but at least on a very high level, where is the location which we mentioned, what is the resource group we mentioned, subscription we mentioned. This is a subscription ID, okay? And performance, we set it as standard. So we also have a different option. Access control is how user will access. Event storage browser will help you to store access all these different containers and all. So I don't want to go deep dive into it, but I hope you understood like how easily we can create a service. So this is the storage account. You can store the data, and data factory you may have heard. If not, data factory is like an ETL tool which is in Azure that help you to move the data between resources. Maybe you wanted to download from SFTP and store it into your blob storage, or you wanted to move something from your blob to your SQL MI is a SQL managed instance. It's a platform as service provided by Microsoft. So if you wanted to move, so all these things, so you have resources as if you click on more services, right, based on what you need. You want compute intense, like there are, yeah, this is what I was saying, right, infrastructure as service. Yeah, virtual machines, all these things. Yeah, virtual machine is a infrastructure as service, and platform as service, which also I mentioned in the discussion. So these are PaaS, and microservices you may have heard. So all these, right, and if you go to databases, you will see various databases here, which you can say SQL DB, SQL managed instance, which I just mentioned. So all these things are option, and if monitoring also, you have different resources. You can create all these things, and like however you wanted to set up an environment, you can set up that in Azure. So now how Azure would charge you, or how Azure will cost you, right? I'll quickly take you through that, and here you will get the notification. So we will go to Azure price calculator. So why Azure price calculator is important? So Azure price calculator will help you to calculate how much a resource would cost you. You don't need to log in or anything. All you need to do, okay, I wanted to create a storage account. How much does it cost me? And if you click on that, you can say where do you want. Okay, I'll say, okay, I need this in East US. And what type of storage? Table storage, I think you have seen, right? I'm saying that data lake storage I need premium. Then what type of redundancy? Same, duplicating, like zone redundancy or local redundancy. And storage type is block. So if you select, right, you will say that how much does it cost. Okay, it is going to cost you $150 per month, and there is no upfront cost. Upfront cost comes when you may have some scenarios like you are buying something, a SQL server, you need to pay license, right? So that is the case. You may have to have like upfront costs come into picture, and what are the right operations. So it goes detail here, but understand that on a very high level, if you know what you need, you will be able to come into Azure price calculator and you can estimate the cost, how much it's going to come. And let me take a SQL managed instance, which I was telling, right? It is similar to the SQL server, but it is a platform as service. So now it is coming, and this is what I was telling. Azure Hybrid is like you pay the license along with this monthly cost, and you can also pay as you go. Pay as you go is a service. I just wanted to explain this and conclude the video. Pay as you go is when like how long you use. If you use for this many hours, you will charge. That is how pay as you go works. And reserve means you are decided to use this for a very long term, right? You can reserve. Maybe you think that, okay, I have a client commitment for one, like next 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. You can choose that. So this will significantly reduce your cost. You can see this is $983, right? Then this is 1100, but when you take it pay as you go, it is 1400. So you will get a benefit of 300. This is monthly cost, and the cost might different when you like services. When you post some of the services, when you post, you don't need to pay. This is an average cost. This is not an exact cost, but this will help you to understand based on, okay, what is the size of the core, right? You want a high performing, average performing, what type of configuration of the hardware type, premium series. So there are many things which you can configure here. This why I have introduced price calculator to you. This gives an idea how resources are getting cost, and what are the configuration generally. If you don't have an Azure account, right, you still be able to learn the configurations very high level which you need to set up an Azure environment. Okay, so with that, we have talked about Azure resources today, like how an Azure portal look like, how you can create an Azure free account. I'll create a separate video for step-by-step guide to create an Azure free account. But for this is like just to get familiar with Azure account and how easy you can have a cloud environment, cloud service can be created. I hope this was clear. And price calculator, you can like open that anytime and understand how cost and what are the major configuration you need to get as service to be built. So that is all from this Azure overview video. Feel free to comment if you have any questions, or if you need any support on setting up this environment. If you like this video, feel free to like, subscribe and share with whomever you think that appropriate. Have a good day.